going on, guys? I'm so confused right now. The Celtics are on a 3-game losing streak, and listen, they've been playing some tough competition, but usually they do better against those tough competitions. So, I don't know. Is it weird that I expected them to lose against the Bulls? Like, totally embarrassing, but that's kind of like their MO. They lose against really bad teams. But then they almost beat the Bucks in Milwaukee. They only lost by 1. But tonight, I just don't know how the wheels fell off. The Raptors, yes, I get it. They're the second seeded team in the East. Their record is now 48-17. And I don't know. It's one of those things where the Celtics, they were winning going into the second quarter. They were up by 2 or 3 points. They were up by 2. And they started off hot, but they could not keep that momentum, and I'm not sure why. And even though I do not like the players-only additions to TNT, the girl on the panel, shout out to girl reporters, she said that they are playing like they don't like each other. And that's a pretty bold statement, but I think that's pretty apparent. I don't think that they do like each other. I don't think this team gets along. I think Kyrie Irving is a big issue, and no one. It's 50%. The Boston fans are 50%. It's either they hate Kyrie, want him gone, or they love Kyrie and everyone's crazy and everyone needs to adjust to Kyrie. And to me, I'm on the I don't like Kyrie, because it's very clear that when he is on the court, they don't know how to play with him, because he wants the ball in his hand 24/7. He's a mini LeBron. He learned from LeBron. He learned all the bad qualities from LeBron, and he carried that over into a Celtics organization where that doesn't play. Like, it doesn't work out in this organization. You can't be a ball hog. You can't act like it's all about you. Celtics organization doesn't deal with egos. Not going to happen. So the issue here is that when Kyrie is on the court, I guess they have a better net rating or whatever. I don't really listen to all those ratings because I don't really care. What my eyeballs see and what I'm actually visually seeing is that the ball doesn't move as well. There's not as much chemistry. There's shots aren't being taken by other teammates. It's only Kyrie, and he was 3 for 10 tonight, 7 points in 28 minutes. It's like, come on, like, if the ball moves well without you on the court, don't you want to be involved in the winning? Like, he missed 11 games so far this season, and the Celtics were 9-2 with him on the bench this season. And people want to say, oh, well, it was against bad teams, whatever. But it's like, a win is a win, and a loss is a very big loss. Tonight they lost by 23 points, and that was the first loss this year of losing 20 or more points, and just super embarrassing. 3-game losing streak. It's just, the Raptors were clearly like just putting on a performance. They were making a statement, because before this game, the Celtics were leading the series 2-1. So now they're tied up 2-2. But I don't know. What does that really say? Like, the Raptors were not playing tough, and then all of a sudden they turned on the Jets in the second quarter and it was lights out, and the Celtics just gave up. And it's just super difficult, because when you have so much depth on a team and you don't know how to manage it, and I'm not blaming Brad, because Brad's not the one on the court playing. It has to do with chemistry and teamwork and playing as a team, and it seems as though Kyrie Irving doesn't know how to play with these teammates. But I think no one's really getting the whole fact that these players, these young players, so first of all, they're young. You need to understand that. They're hungry, they're young, they want minutes, they want to play. You also need to think back to last season, and everyone wants to say, oh, the past is the past, stop thinking about last season. But no, you need to, because that was a big statement. The Celtics went to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie Irving and without Gordon Hayward, and those guys that were bench players got starting roles, starting minutes, and they had a lot riding on them and put on their shoulders. Yes, there were no expectations, but you need to realize that once you give a young gun like that a taste of that spotlight, of those minutes, of, you know, playing like a unit, like a team, just balling out with the young guys, once you have that and then you take it away and you put them on the bench and you say, yeah, okay, pat on the back, you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but oh well, sorry, now you're on the bench because we have ego all-stars that can't play as a team with you guys and can't produce wins, but for some reason, because their contract has a bunch of zeros and yours doesn't have as many zeros, they need to play over you. And even though you were winning and producing wins, you still have to sit on the bench and take less minutes because for some reason you're not going to work out this year like you worked out last year. And I get it. Like, teams have changed and, you know, things have changed and the league changes every year. But I think that the gritty, go hard mentality that Marcus Smart always has and Marcus Morris has, and I miss him. Shane Larkin, he had it. And Isaiah Thomas, I miss him. He had it. Like, all of these guys that had something to prove and were fighting for something and, like, had a purpose. Not just, oh, I'm an all-star because I'm an all-star and, like, whatever. Like, they actually were nobodies. They were, you know, the low on the totem pole. And they, like, had something to prove. And they played because they loved it. And they got along. And they shared the ball. And that's the thing that's really lacking here. I guess the one plus I can take away from this game is Time Lord Williams is alive. Literally, where has he been? Because I haven't seen him in about 4 months. Every time you see him on social media or wherever, he seems fine. So I'm not quite sure, like, if he had an injury, what the deal is. He's been having issues since he signed with the team. Like, I don't know. Super inconsistent. That's the key word of this whole season, is inconsistency, down to the rookie pickups. Everything is inconsistent. And it was just crazy. This game was nuts. Siakam went off. Literally went off. Back-to-back threes. He just did not take his foot off the gas. He had 25 points, 8 rebounds. And then all of a sudden, listen, Raptors from start to finish, from the starters to the deep bench that they were playing in the third quarter, were getting buckets, passing the ball, playing together, playing well together, playing like a team. Like, Powell off the bench, 11 points. Like, even their 10-day pickup, Meeks, hit 2 back-to-back threes. It's just like, come on. Like, their depth was out of control, but they knew how to manage it, balance it, and play together. Celtics on paper have such great depth and are a great team, but they don't know how to play together as a team. And they're losing, and they're their own demise. They are their own worst enemy. The only way that they're losing these games is they're losing to themselves. And that's very, very clear. It's funny because even Brad Stevens said, oh, if we're down 20, that's where we like to be, because we like to overcome that, and we like the adversity to overcome, and we like being the underdogs, and we like a challenge, and we like to fight back and whatever. So when they were down by 21 points at half, I was like, perfect. That's right where the Celtics love to be, because they love to put up weird stats, where last year they had like a crazy stat where they overcame 20-plus point deficits in the third or in the fourth or whatever and won games. Like, that's like the weirdest stat ever. But they were like super proud of that, and I couldn't tell you why, because I get it. Like, it's not about how you start a game, it's about how you finish it. But the Raptors, they didn't start too hot in the first quarter. I mean, they were down by 2 at the end of the first quarter, but they picked it up in the second quarter, and they did not let off the gas until the last second of the final quarter. Like, they just kept going and going and going, and it was crazy. And I don't know, it's just Irving, 7 points, 3 for 10. Like, I don't know. It's just, he's supposed to be the leader, but sometimes you lead by example rather than just running your mouth 24/7. Like, and the leaders, first of all, Brad doesn't have captains or leaders or whatever. I mean, well, he wants leaders, but he doesn't want specific captains, because everyone is a team and they all should be on the same level and they should all be playing together. But if Irving really wants to be like, this is my team, and he was so dead set on like being the star of a team, like, he just really needs to learn that, like, the way that he's going about handling the young talent is just completely the wrong way. Like, keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're not fixing it. And lately, now he's not really talking to the media at all. Like, his post-game interview today, he was just kind of like, that's that, I'm not going to talk about it. Like, that's that person's opinion. I'm not worried about it, blah, blah, blah. And so we'll see. They are on a back-to-back, a traveling back-to-back. So they were just in Toronto. They're flying back tonight, and they take on the Trailblazers. Obviously not going to be easy. They are at home, so they do have that advantage because they are playing better at home. They have a losing record on the road, and that makes me kind of nervous because next week they have a road trip where they're facing the West Coast, and they're taking on 4 games on the West Coast next week, and I'm super worried about that. But hopefully they can bounce back tonight. Technically it's tonight because it is 1 a.m. They are taking on the Trailblazers. They are 4th in the West. They are on a 4-game win streak. They are 37-23. The only person on the injury report is Evan Turner for them, which used to be a former Celtic, so he's not that, impressive. And, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, they just picked up Enes Kanter, so seeing how he blends with the Trailblazers, that'll be interesting. But again, this was a game that was kind of surprising to me because usually they play up to their competition. I get that they're having issues on the road. I don't know what their deal is with the road games, but they're not doing well on the road. But by getting blown out by that much to the Raptors is very uncharacteristic. So hopefully they'll bring it back tomorrow, and they will take on the Trailblazers, and they will break this losing streak that they have, start off strong, because then they have 4 games this week. They have the Blazers, the Wizards, the Rockets, and then they go on their road trip, and I'm praying they get 1 on the road because they clearly hate road games almost more than they hate third quarters. I don't know. But we'll see how they do tomorrow. I will come back and I will talk to you about the result of that game and what we need to see from them going forward. What can they do to change? Will Kyrie Irving be a team player overnight? I don't know. But it's insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So something needs to change. Brad, change up your starting 5, change up your rotations, change something. When Aaron Baines comes back, I really hope things change because in January, when Baines was healthy, they were 2nd in defensive ratings. And all of February, with Baines out, they dropped to 21. They're the 21st in defensive ratings. So that's crazy. And that's clearly the absence of Baines. You see that there. So when Baines comes back, his attitude, his vibes, his energy, hopefully people can just, bounce off that. And the Celtics need to just get going because, like I said during my Boston Bannerbound Live for Dirty Water Media on Friday, right now it's really just the seeding for the 3-4-5 spot. Again, the Celtics beat out the Sixers in the series this year, so no matter what, even if they end up tying with the Sixers, the Celtics will take that spot over the Sixers. Right now it's Bucks, Raptors, Pacers, Sixers, Celtics, and then the 6, 7, 8 are up for grabs for the most part, but they're 15, 16 games back. So there's really no movement there. It's probably the Celtics will stay in the 5 spot. If they can get to the 3 spot, that would be great, but they're 9.5 games back from the 1 spot right now. So if they can have some movement within the 3, 4, 5, that's cool. But if they stay in the 5 or they move to the 4, they're playing the Sixers in the first round. The Celtics dominate the Sixers no matter what. So they'll win that first round in 5 games maybe. I'll give the Sixers 1 win. Maybe they'll win 1 at home because clearly the Celtics aren't doing great on the road. So maybe the Sixers will get a win on the road, at home. But they'll definitely get through that first round if they sit where they are. So maybe that's their game plan. Who knows? I have no idea. But they need to just get that record to be a little bit more on the win column and less on the loss column. So we'll see how they do tomorrow. Again, busy week for them, so I'll try and keep up with you and tell you how I feel and how they've been doing. This has been Boston Bannerbound Instagram Live Edition. I will see you back here tomorrow night.